So hello, welcome back to my Taylor Talks channel. If you're new here, make sure that you guys like and subscribe for some more Taylor Talks. If you guys have been rocking with me since the very beginning, thanks for coming back. Let's all learn about Bessie Coleman. Bessie Coleman is the GOAT. Not kidding. She is the greatest of all time. This is not up to debate, but I do believe in free speech. So if you want to say something in the comments, please feel free to. So Bessie Coleman was the world's first Black woman aviator, and she earned her pilot's license in 1921 in France. Now make sure that you guys grab on to France because I'm going to talk about why she got her pilot's license in France versus the United States later on in the video. So Miss Bessie Coleman was the 10th child in a family of 13. Yes, she had 12 brothers and sisters. She grew up in a huge family in a single-parent home in rural Texas. She learned about aviation through her childhood reading. She was determined to be a pilot at a very young age. So in order to do that, she finished high school and she finished some of her college, and then she eventually moved to Chicago. And in Chicago, she was mentored by two Black philanthropists, Robert Abbott and Jesse Binga. Robert Abbott was a famous American lawyer, and he founded the Chicago Defender in 1905, which grew to have the highest circulation of any Black-owned newspaper in the country, and they are still publishing to this day. And Jesse Binga was a prominent American businessman as well, and he founded the first privately owned African-American bank in Chicago. Her support system was strong, to say the least. So Bessie moved to Chicago to get into aviation school. However, she was denied admission again and again, all because of her race and gender. However, that did not stop Miss Bessie Coleman. During her free time in Chicago, she learned how to speak French, and then she eventually went to France to get her pilot license. And in 1921, she earned her international pilot's license from the highly respected Federation Aeronautic International School. So I want to go back to the point I made earlier about her getting her pilot license in France versus the United States. Again, unfortunately, Bessie was not even allowed or not even admitted into aviation school in the US. But I know we are all so glad that that did not stop her, because after she got her pilot's license, she returned to the United States and basically became a phenomenon. She spent the next 5 years touring the country, giving exhibition flights, barnstorming, and parachuting at airports. Now, on top of being the first Black woman to have a pilot license, she's also well known for being a famous stunt flyer. Or another word for that is barnstorming. It's basically performing dangerous tricks in the air for paying audiences. Now, at the time, barnstorming was highly competitive, and she did decide to take this seriously. So a year after she came home from France, she was looking around to see who would teach her advanced lessons in barnstorming, and to no surprise, no one would teach her in Chicago because of her gender and race. And that is when she went off to Europe and Germany and France to find teachers to teach her barnstorming. After she learned all the tricks that she needed to learn, she went back to the United States and she became really famous in barnstorming. In fact, she was the best of the best at it, to the point where everyone was calling her Queen Bess as her nickname. I just love that name. I did not learn that in my textbooks. Now, during this time, she also challenged the barriers of racial discrimination and refused to participate in segregated events. And she also planned to open up her dream aviation school to teach other African Americans how to fly and get them involved in the aviation industry overall. And during this time, she was saving up money so that she can open up her own flying school. And then she actually got offered a role in a movie called Shadow and Sunshine, and it was 100% financed by the African American Seminole Film Producing Company. And she initially accepted the role because she wanted to advance her career and get some money. However, when she got on set, she read the script and she read that she was going to be playing a woman that was going to be in tattered clothes, a woman that was going to be walking on a stick and a pack on her back, and she immediately refused to proceed with the process. Now, Bessie did receive some backlash for that. However, she was true to the mission of opening up her dream school. Unfortunately and sadly, Bessie Coleman was not able to open up her school because she did die at the age of 34 years old. Bessie was getting her plane together for an exhibition flight, and her mechanic flew her plane in another exhibition flight a few days earlier, and he had to land the plane a few times because there was just so much going on with it. There were a lot of mechanical issues. However, Bessie wanted to see them firsthand for herself, so she decided to fly in her exhibition anyway, and when her and her mechanic took off, 10 minutes into their flight, the plane came crashing down, and they were both killed. Her death was widely publicized in the African American press, and a lot of her funeral ceremonies were led by the activist Ida B. Wells. Since Bessie Coleman's death, the world has continued to give her flowers and to honor her year after year. There is a public library named after her in Chicago where she lived as an honor. There are roads named after her at many different airports. I flew out of the Oakland International Airport a few times, and the signs that they have for her is just stunning and beautiful and amazing. If you guys live around that area, you guys already know what I'm talking about, but they just really do it up for her. And every year, it's a tradition for African American aviators to drop flowers at her grave at Lincoln Cemetery. Also in 2001, she was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame, and in 2006, she was inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame as well. She even has her own postal stamp that came out in 1995, and her stamp is the 18th in the U.S. Postal Service Black Heritage Series. And there are just many, many more awards, honors, and overall recognition that the world has given to her. And I am just so glad that they are giving her flowers. So again, I want to go back to my original point, which was, we learned about Bessie Coleman in our textbooks, specifically in the United States, if you grew up here. And, we learned the highlights of who Bessie was and what she was famous for. However, it's a newfound appreciation as an adult to learn more about her background and just what she went through and everything that she contributed to the world. It's just super stunning, and I am so glad that we got to learn about her. As usual, I want to leave you guys with some inspiration. I want to read a quote from Queen Bess herself. She said, and I quote, "I refused to take no for an answer." And, we just learned about her background and how many no's that she faced in her life. However, she still pursued her dream and she became the best. Even with all the barriers that she faced in her short time being here on the planet. And I think that we can apply that to our lives. So on that note, make sure that you guys like and subscribe for some more Taylor Talks. Comment below your thoughts. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay safe. See ya.